First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the custodians of this land, the Gadigal and Wangal people of the Eora Nation, and their elders past and present. We acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contribution they make to the life of this city and this region. And next, I'd like to welcome Michelle Lim Davidson, who's here with me now on Zoom, and congratulate her on being one of the Casting Guild's Rising Stars for 2022. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I feel really honoured to be here.
Excellent. Born in Korea, how old were you when you first came to Australia?
I was really young. I was 4.5 months old. And I grew up in Newcastle.
Newcastle?
Just north of Sydney.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how'd you find that growing up in Newcastle, looking, I guess, different to other people in Newcastle from, 30 years ago, I imagine?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was the only Asian girl, Asian person in my primary school until about year 4.
Right. Yes, that's not many.
There's really not very many people who look like me. And so, I guess when I was young, I didn't necessarily think about it too much. There was bullying and I definitely felt different.
Yeah.
But like so many kids that age, you're just trying to fit in. And it wasn't until when I was kind of in high school that I realised that, it's important to see other people like yourself and what that does for your self-esteem.
Well, I don't imagine when you were growing up there were too many role models of Asian, let alone Korean descent on TV to look up to. So what made you want to be an actor?
I always grew up dancing competitively in Eisteddfods and that kind of thing. And then I was singing and I thought I wanted to do like musical theatre. And then when I decided to be an actor, it kind of happened when I was auditioning for drama school. I was trying to get into a musical theatre course and I was auditioning for acting as part of the experience, it was a learning opportunity. And then a switch kind of went off in my mind and I thought, hang on, maybe I want to be an actor. But it still didn't really I don't know if my concept of what an actor wasn't something I saw myself as. I think I started drama lessons when I was really young.
Yeah.
Because I was so shy. I was painfully shy. I couldn't talk to people. I was just so introverted. So my parents thought it would bring me out of my shell.
And they created a monster. No.
Absolutely.
No. And so tell me, do you see your career as having like a big break or sort of a steady journey, I guess?
It kind of depends how you define a big break.
It's toast. Yes, exactly. It's a different for everyone, I guess.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful. I've had so many opportunities along the way and people who've, taken chances on me or my potential and, threw me in the deep end, that kind of thing. But I guess it's been like a slow and steady, I'm in the marathon.
Yeah. And what was your first gig?
It was a job on Channel 9 called Live from Planet Earth.
Yep.
Great job. It got cancelled after 3 episodes.
But that wasn't you.
No, but it taught me so much. I knew after that I could do anything.
Yep.
Just from a technical point.
Yeah. Well, and was there one important thing you took away from that show, which you've carried on throughout your career?
Yeah, that you can. All I can do is my work.
Yep.
I can show up on time, do my work, be professional, be kind to people, and that's all. That's basically my job, is just to do the acting. I can't control any of the other circumstances around it, and that having that experience very early on in my career just really set me up.
And so a bit of a journey for you, I guess, when you look at sort of moving from play school, for example, which you've worked on quite a bit, through to newsreader. Have you got any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, play school was something I booked, I think, early in my career. I think it was maybe my second year out of drama school.
Lucky you did those singing lessons and all that singing stuff. It's a good gig, pays the bills.
Finally, it came in handy.
Yep.
That job is probably, the most unique job I've ever done and will ever do. It is a job that you can only learn whilst doing it. And it set me up, I guess, for all of my screen acting. If you can't connect through the camera, if you can't you know, drop any guys or not be self-conscious in front of the camera, then you're not going to be a very good play school presenter.
No, well, play school's going to take that out of you, isn't it?
Yeah. And exactly. So because you're kind of shedding those layers as you go, it sets you up for something like the newsreader, because like I've been like on national television, I've been sliding around the ground as a slug in a different sleeping bag. I can do anything on screen now. Like it doesn't.
Gone is the shy girl from her first act.
Shy girl. I can just act now. But it does set you up for jobs, like big drama jobs, like the newsreader.
Yeah, I guess a common comment you might have received earlier in your career, I read, was that looking like you do, you probably wouldn't get much work.
Yeah, I remember when I finished drama school, and even the first few years into my career, people would say, I think they were trying to be kind. People would say, oh, no one's going to cast you, and you're probably not going to work on television. You're definitely not going to work in the theatre. And I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, but I've done all this training. Where am I going to use this training?
And also it didn't align with, my experience. I was booking jobs.
Yep.
And I remember just thinking every time someone said that to me, oh, look, sorry, you're wrong. I will be an actor, and I think I'll find my own way, and it might be a bit of an unusual pathway, but it's okay. I'll
get there.
I'll be in television.
And so given you've worked pretty consistently, have you noticed many changes in the industry and just your time in it?
Yes, a lot. I'd like to hope that kind of young actors now who maybe were from similar backgrounds as myself wouldn't experience some of the things I went through early in my career. And, even into kind of the mid-range of my career as well so far.
What's some advice you might have for those young aspiring actors similar to you coming through now?
That the most unique thing you can bring to your work is just you personally. You don't have to try to fit into a mold of being someone you think the industry wants. You can get there. You can, again, it might be not the usual standard way that a lot of other actors have, gone through. Like I got cast in a big show, then it was really good and I was famous and whatever. You can find your own pathway that's unique to you, and those skills you learn along the way and your development as an artist will mean that that's what sustains you through the industry, because you have to kind of adapt, and you've got to be able to accumulate more skills. There's not enough work to go around to just rest on your laurels. And, for me personally, I would be also quite bored. I want to keep progressing and challenging myself. So I think, my advice would be do your work, be professional, be kind to people and generous. Do you.
And do you see yourself as a little bit of a role model now, a bit of a groundbreaker in the industry at all?
It depends.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, I don't think of myself as necessarily a role model. I definitely have got more and more feedback over the years about, like something like Play School, about young children, for being very excited to see me on television. And I get a lot of children, and parents telling me, or caregivers telling me that how important it is to see someone like myself on television, and how, lots of young children aspire to be me. When I grow up, I want to be Michelle on television.
Yeah.
And that's just like, it blows my mind. And I take that responsibility really seriously, because I think it's a real privilege for me to be doing what I do.
And it's quite humbling having that sort of pressure on you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it carries a different weight and responsibility than I think a lot of other actors experience, because you feel like you're representing a community. I always remind myself, I'm just one person in this big machine, and I can do my bit to the best of my ability, and that's all I can ever ask of myself.
Yeah. And finally, to finish off with, what's something not a lot of people know about you?
Oh, that I want to share. Well, I don't know. to try and make it related to acting. I've had like over the years, I've had like a million casual jobs.
Yep.
Like to supplement my income and
to supplement your career.
Yeah, because I actually think it's really important to normalize that. Like, there's no shame in it. Like, there's not a lot of acting work, and if that means you get to do what you love doing, then I don't think that's worth shying away from. But the job that I held the longest, and I've had a lot. And technically, I could still go back at any point. I packed mouth guards for years.
Great.
Jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to pack hundreds of thousands of mouth guards a day, so I'm really good at it too.
Yep. Well, hey, thanks so much for talking to me. I can't wait to see what you do next. And congratulations on being one of the CGA's Rising Stars of 2022.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Michelle.